Hello, my loves. How are you? Today, we're going to do a video where we dive into divine feminine moving into her new role. A few months ago, we landed in a series of videos around divine feminine being released from her old role. And many of us went into the last few months of really resting and rejuvenating and preparing for the new. Earlier, before I recorded this, I did record the wound rip healing meditative session that I promised you yesterday. And that is connected with today's video that I'm going to do right now. So I want to tell you about that really quick. It's a 42-minute meditative session recording that went very deep into working with shoring up and healing that original rip, clearing out any of the distortion left. And as we moved through it, there was a deep connection with where earth fell, and the earth was in its own wound. So as the earth is healing, we're healing. And as we're healing, the earth is healing. And as we moved through it, there was a very, very deep and gorgeous restoration of the internal union energies, and also an opportunity to connect deeply and move into a heart merge with the divine counterpart connection. For any of you who feel guided, that's available in two places. One, if you're already a Patreon member, for Harmonious Hearts, you're going to get free access to this 42-minute recording, which I'm super excited to share with you in appreciation for your connection and commitment to this work. If you've been contemplating wanting to join that, now would be a good time because you'll get this free session as part of that membership for this month. And if you're not interested in Patreon, but still would like to access the recording, I've also made it available over on my website store. So I'll put all of that information in the pinned comment. So in that session, it came through in one portion. I even got quite emotional, where the divine masculine essence internally and in the divine masculine collective was being released from their old role as the protector within the energy of that original core rip. So what we were shown was that the feminines have been working very diligently and deeply to heal and debride sort of everything that's happened since that original rip. And the masculine essences were holding sort of the space of protection at the rip so that it was protected to some degree. Now, part of what was happening, as you may experience this with your own internal energies, this may resonate. Of course, take what resonates, leave the rest, allow it to evolve whatever comes through and for you as well. Build upon whatever is shared here, right? But what it was coming through as was that the feminines were working, and then sort of the wound would open back up, and it would seem like it was going backwards, but it was really just going for another level of clearing. What I was being shown was that we've moved so deeply and healed so much that the masculines are being released from that role of protecting the wound. And now the wound is being able to be sealed all the way back to the beginning. Okay. And it was being sealed and sort of opened and sealed and opened. And each of us will go through our own version of this, of course. But what the essence is coming through as is that this is going to support us in building more momentum into the energies of inner union, unity, consciousness, unconditional love, and sacred union energies for those of you who feel called to that. There was an energy of very deep exhaustion within the divine masculine collective on their end. I know many of the feminines have felt that as well. But as the feminines were more recently released from her roles, and there was this recalibration phase, now the masculines are being released from their old role. And I'll probably do a video on that tomorrow or the next day. But today we're going to dive into where the feminines were released. And now that the masculines are being released, that's allowing the feminines to step forward into their new role. And the masculines will experience their own level of recalibration to prepare for their new roles. Of course, taking some time with whatever they're processing and moving through on their end. We know that it's usually quite different from the feminines. So we'll honor whatever their experience is. Okay, so with this, because this just literally came in for me just a few moments ago. I'm gonna pull out some cards and pull in some quick messages to support this energies for the feminines. What can the feminines expect, be aware of, just kind of pay attention to during this process? Of course, like I said, as we move into these energies in the quantum, it takes, weeks and a few months to sort of settle in, right? So we have first breath, beginner's mind, the authentic self. Gorgeous. So as the feminines have been recalibrating these last few months, sort of allowing the results of all of the work that she's been doing to settle in more and more. This isn't to say you haven't still been working or doing what you needed to do, but there was a level of relaxation that was allowed to come into the system. As many of you have also confirmed with me, after many years, you finally were like able to sit down and watch Netflix or just chill out, like veg out, even almost sometimes just checking out and allowing the energies to shift. Okay, and part of why this was important was this was allowing the masculines to step into taking the reins to process their part of the connection in a new way, releasing you from your old role so that you could step into your new beginning without the past present, in the sense that this was a process. This last few months was not only a restful process to allow the results to drop in, but it was also where we were releasing those last bits of old patterns, old relationships, old dynamics that actually were part of those older energies or experiences from before. Okay. And this doesn't mean that those might not cycle back around in a new way. Many of them will, but it was important to sort of relax and release and let them upgrade. Let yourself upgrade, let your connections, your relationships, your work, let everything go through an upgrading process. So, very beautiful work, because as you've been allowing this, as you have been resting and allowing yourself to rejuvenate, now the new can begin to come in. It feels very, very important that you continue to allow yourself that process of resting and rejuvenating, in harmonizing and balancing that with that energy of moving forward into the new. So there feels to me to be a very, very strong sense of harmonious energy within the divine feminine fields. And yes, I know many of you are still processing some intense stuff, and that may still continue, but I want you to realize and notice how much more stable you are even within that. Notice how you're able to process really big energies and still go out into the world. Yes, you still may take your hermiting time away to rejuvenate, but you're also navigating being in this world a lot more. So you're learning and embodying a very gorgeous balance of doing your high spiritual work and being present on this planet and everything in between. And even, yes, of course, we're still working with these energies, but you are embodied and stable enough to go to these next levels. Okay, so very gorgeous. For those of you who have been working with that core rip, that core wound energy, I know many of you have. If you've been feeling those ascension symptoms, if you've been having the heart palpitations and some of the dizziness, of course, again, take care of yourself however you need to. But for those of you who are feeling that it's the ascension and energetics, the solar flares, the shifts, the retrogrades, all of the full moons, all of that, Really taking that time again to trust yourself and care for yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But again, the reason this core rip came in so strongly, at least for me, as I've expressed to you and I talked about on my Patreon, was where I myself went through a couple moments of such deep heart palpitations. I was dizzy and even had to just sit down almost to like a blackout energy. And that was when I received and saw the download around the rip and how that original rip created that sort of dizziness and suction, almost like a tornado energy. And so this is where, fast forward these last couple weeks, that I've been really working to shore that up in my system and with those of you in many of the sessions. This topic has been coming up, and another very, very prominent topic that has been coming up is, yes, inner child, inner teen. I saw on my other channel somebody talked about being at university and into their 20s and 30s. Absolutely. Pretty much what it's boiled down to is any version of us younger than who we are in this present moment is getting the option to receive the results of everything that we've done up to this point. So we're going through a very big recalibration. And along with that core wound work, you can also work with those inner aspects. Like I said, any of those younger versions of you, you can support that part of yourself not only by reparenting, but also doing a visualization or an intention or a meditation around sending the result of all of who you are now, everything you've learned. Send that energy back to you, all the way back to the day that you were conceived, all the way back to the day you were born, or to any one of those memory points that comes up in your system that may have been holding you back or that's coming to the surface to be retrieved. Okay, my loves. Very, very, very powerful times that we are in right now. Exceedingly powerful. Lots of different aspects are coming up to be retrieved and restored. And this, I believe, this healing and sealing of the core original rip is going to allow us to build significant more momentum into the new. And the fact that it's this first breath, right? Think of it. Imagine you have like a lung that's punctured, right? Like the rip in the lung, and it's you're breathing, but until that puncture gets sealed and healed, now you can start to take your full, true, deep breath. And in essence, this feels like we've been here on this planet. We have been working with our essence and energy, but none of us have actually fully, truly felt or embodied our full essences yet. And so, as we're doing these deeper levels and shoring up those rips, as we're no longer allowing our energies to be siphoned, as we're choosing what to participate in, and we're being responsible for our standards and what we want to experience in our life, this is significantly changing not only our experiences on this planet, but the dynamic of relationships altogether. And many of you can look on the world stage and notice that there are changes happening. What was it, about 8 years ago? Everybody was talking about let's go back and make it the way that it was. And I know during that time, I was guided to support and look at the energies of moving forward, not left, not right, but let's take it forward. And now there's this gorgeous message and energy. Over these last years, so much of humanity has gone through these processes of being in the depths of the shadows, of revisiting these patterns on our planet. And many are now saying, no more. Let's move forward. Let's move into the new. And this is the general consensus. Everyone is playing their part for us to be aware of these energies, okay? All is happening as it's meant to support and trigger us into this process. This is so fascinating. For the past 10 minutes, my ear was totally like plugged and it just cleared up, boom, like that. And that feels significant because I haven't had that ear thing since the beginning of the channel, and it would come in sometimes with the masculines. And as soon as I just gave that message of moving into hope, into the future, moving forward, and that everybody's been doing their part, it was like, boom. And this is such a key important piece. If we can release any judgments that we're holding around anyone who played any sort of role up until this point, if we at the higher levels can honor that everybody has been exactly where they needed to be, doing what they needed to do, you can let go of any judgment when you get into alignment with yourself and you choose what you want to participate in, because you can honor someone's choice. Even if you do not agree with it or it doesn't feel in alignment with you, you can honor their sovereignty by simply choosing not to participate within that and refocus your essence and energy into what you want to create. What do you want to build? And allow everyone else to be free to explore and experience what their soul is calling them to navigate and experience. But it also doesn't mean that you have to stay there with them in that, no matter how much you love them, allow them their process, but also free yourself from staying bound and trapped into energies that you have outgrown. My loves, allow yourself to continue to move forward with grace, move forward with honor for yourself, and release any of those last tidbits of judgment around what everyone else is doing. And free yourself from that judgment of thinking that you need to stay there. Because, my loves, you are being called into your new role. And just remember, as you do this, the more you move into your authentic energies, the more you stabilize and embody into your higher guidance as you are being shown, even if no one else around you understands, the more you are in your authentic frequency, the more you are going to draw and magnetize to yourself exactly what is in genuine and true authentic alignment with you, why you're here, what you've always known you deserve to experience, and what you have been working so incredibly diligently towards. Your commitment to yourself, to your connection, to your community, to your family, and to your planet is being recognized, and it is having a beautiful impact. And your work within yourself and your inner union and within the divine masculine, sacred masculine collective energies, regardless of how it looks in the external world, is working. It is paying off. And we are seeing results of this work. And we will continue to see results of what you are doing right now into the future, into the weeks, months, and years, and beyond our even existence here. You have made a difference and you continue to make a difference. Your essence and your energy dropping into your heart. Thank you. Thank you for what you have been doing. Even on the days where you didn't know if it was real or you felt like you were going crazy or was it ever going to shift? It is. It is. And yes, we may keep working, but we are going to be seeing more and more and more results in the physical world. And if you are not yet, just hold tight, keep doing what is in front of you one step at a time, and it's going to come. And if you're not sure how and you're needing support, loves, get yourself that support. It's all okay. Trust yourself, keep going, rest when you need, rejuvenate when you need, do whatever you have to do to show yourself the love and nurturing support that you have always deserved. I'm going to get one more message from the Priestess of Light. And I do still feel like I'm going to pull some tarot. Oh, we got two. Lost, lack, fear, victimization, and innovation, new creation. The sacred divine feminines are helping to bring in these new innovative energies that are paving the way to rewrite the old stories of loss and lack and victimization. As we do this within our own energies, as we let ourselves be free of where we felt like a victim, where we were a victim, and we take our power back, as we no longer agree to participate in those old dynamics, and we do it from a place of love, as we let ourselves feel and heal our anger and our rage, and we step into the truth of our own power and our own sovereignty. My loves, we are becoming the beacons of rewriting victimization, not because we're ignoring the abuses that have happened to us or to the masculines or on our planet, but because we've been so brave and willing to face those wounds, those core wounds, and because we've been able to look at those and to face them and to be willing to move through them and replace them with love and power, in truth and authenticity. You are some of the bravest warriors this planet has ever seen. Yes, feel that, because there's not many doing this work. The emotional work, see, people can go out and fight physically. They can get on their armor, and I'm not taking away from that. But this work that you've been doing is equally as brave and courageous, my loves, in a whole different type of pocket. And it is one that it goes unnoticed and unrecognized way too often. But I'm promising you that it is priceless. There is nothing to compare to the things that you are rewriting. And I feel like it's so incredibly important that you let yourself receive this part of it, because maybe not a lot of people know it or understand it or see you or feel you, but I do. And your brothers and sisters here on Harmonious Hearts see you and feel you and appreciate you so, so deeply. And like I said, what you're doing is priceless. So each moment, each day, each time you're facing something uncomfortable in front of you with that face, with that brave face, and you're rewriting it with love, thank you. Thank you. You are much more powerful than you know. And even if you're not seeing the results of it now, again, I'm going to reiterate, keep going. I'm going to bring in a few more last messages from what can we expect or look for in the physical world? What may be coming forward for the sacred and divine feminines here with me? Very, very beautiful. When you started out this journey, you were just beginning to tap into and understand your bandwidth. As you went into your initiation and your soul merge, and you started to activate all of those chakras and that potential, as you have faced the hurts and the pains and the shadows and welcomed in your highest self, as you allowed the old pains to fade into the background, and as you continued to go through this transformation of your higher self embodiment, not just tapping into these higher essences and not just knowing that they might be there, but going through the painful transformation of allowing yourself to make space to embody this full true essence. And this message is coming full circle. As you continue this process, you will see more and more of these results embodied into the physical form. Sometimes this judgment card is sort of seen as the spirit lifting out and ascending. To me, this is about this spirit and this higher self and this true essence coming home to your body, coming home to the earth, and you now being in a space where you can expand and work with this whole entire bandwidth, all of who you are, and moving into this very new, fresh beginning, taking a fresh breath as you step more boldly, bravely, and deeply into the new earth energies, my love. And I'm honored to be here walking side by side with you through this. And again, as always, I appreciate your connection and camaraderie here on the channel. Please let me know how you're doing. I'm so grateful again. I love you. I'm sending you so much love and hope you have a very beautiful rest of your day. And I do believe we're coming out the other side, my loves. Have a great day. Bye.